Grant us wisdom and knowledge, for in Jesus' name we have prayed.
Amen.
Okay. In our last class, we discussed culture, isn't it? Culture. So we'll do a little revision. I'll display the slides, so you take down whatever points you may have missed in our last class. Is that okay?
Yes, ma.
All right. So, all right. Can you see the slides?
Yes, ma.
All right. So please do the needful. Take down whatever you may have missed. Some of you complained last time. So that culture is passed on from one generation to. Okay, meaning of culture. Culture is the total way of life of a particular group of people. So please write, those of you that missed few points in our last class is displayed just because of you. Do the needful, please. Be very fast about it. It's the total way of life of a particular group of people. It is the behavioral pattern of people from one generation to another. Prince, are you writing?
Yes, ma.
Okay, please be fast. It take up called group of people try and cause eating after and eating habits eating. Can I go to the next one?
Yes, ma.
Okay. From one generation to another. The dynamic that is in society changes. Next slide. Are you okay with this? Culture, material and non-material culture. Material culture is also known as tangible culture, while non-material culture is sometimes referred to as intangible culture. So material culture refers to the products made by man. It consists of items that members of a society make to meet their needs, e.g. chairs, shoes, baskets, clothes, bridges, cutlass, houses, etc. Can I go to the next slide?
Yes, ma.
All right. The non-material culture. This consists of things we cannot touch but are expressed. And such things include language, religion, music, norms, folk tales, dressing, belief, song, values, dance, etc. Are you done?
Yes, ma.
Okay. So I'll move to the next one. Okay. Then features of culture. I told you that features of culture refers to the ways through which culture of a group of people can be seen. We can see people's culture in their language, the food they eat, their religion, technology, art and craft, music. We can also see the culture of a group of people in the music they play. Is that okay? Then we also have festivals, that is the festivals they celebrate. For example, we said the Igbos celebrate New Yam Festival. The Yorubas, Egungun. Festival. Then Kebbi State, we have Argungu Fishing Festival. Zaria, we have Durban Festival that has to do with horse riding. And then we also have mode of dressing, etc. Mode of dressing is also a feature of culture. Can I move to the next slide, please?
Yes, ma.
All right. Then characteristics of culture. Number one, we said culture is dynamic, which means culture changes as the society changes. And we said any culture that does not change with the people's needs may die. That's the first one. Culture is dynamic, means that culture changes. It's not static. Like the killing of twins has changed. So it means that's an example of the situation we are looking at or what we are talking about. That is culture being dynamic. Then we have culture is enduring. We said this means that culture lasts for a long time. Culture lasts for a long time. Some cultures which has formed part of our way of life today was practiced by our forefathers. So culture is enduring. And then we have culture is created. This means that culture was put down by man. Culture was put down by man. Are you through with this slide?
Yes, ma.
All right. So we'll go to the next one. Culture is collective. Culture is collective. This means that culture is not meant for one person, but for a group of people. The culture the Igbos practice, the Hausas or the Yorubas is not just practiced by one person. For example, I'm an Igbo lady, but the culture is meant for the Igbos, not just for myself. So it's collective. Then we have culture is adaptive. This means that culture can be adjusted to suit man's situation.
Go back.
What? Okay, any problem? Francis. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's move to the next slide, please. Then culture is learned. We can learn about culture. We don't inherit culture. As we are born, during the process of socialization, we learn about culture. And what is socialization again? Who can define socialization? Who can define socialization before we proceed? JS3, what is socialization?
Socialization is the training of a child in the culture of his society.
Beautiful, thank you. Very good. So we said culture is learned. During the process of socialization, we learn our culture. We don't inherit it. Then culture is shared. We said sharing of culture makes members of a community to understand themselves. For example, those of you living in towns and cities, when you move down to your village, your peers may enlighten you about your culture. That is sharing of culture. They let you know more about your culture. Is that okay?
Yes, ma.
So we'll go to cultural similarities in Nigeria. Cultural similarities in Nigeria. It is true that each ethnic group has its own culture, but then there are certain similarities among different ethnic groups in Nigeria. The first one we have is farm implements. All ethnic groups in Nigeria use crude implements, farm implements such as hoes and cutlasses. So we can say it's a cultural similarity. Then we have marriage. We believe marriage is the means by which a man and a woman should live together as husband and wife. That is why the society frowns at people who live together without marriage, that is, those that are not siblings or relatives. And then we have arts and crafts. Art and craft is also a cultural similarity in Nigeria. Different ethnic groups have a particular craft which they are known for. Then respect for elders. Respect for elders is also a cultural similarity in Nigeria, although various ethnic groups have a particular way by which they show respect to their elders. For example, in terms of greetings, you have the Yoruba boy goes as far as prostrating in order to greet an elder, while the Hausa boy bends, that squats, the Igbo boy bends halfway with a handshake. That is respect. Then we have communal living. Communal living, we said, is also a cultural similarity in Nigeria. Different ethnic groups, they practice, they look out for each other in the various communities where they come from. They share things in common. We also have festivals. We have they celebrate births, they bury dead body in grave. Nigerians bury the dead 6 feet below. Then let's go to cultural differences. Cultural differences in Nigeria. Can you see my slide? Can you see the
Yes,
slide,
ma.
please?
Yes, ma.
And the first we have there is what?
Language.
Very good. When I speak my language, if you are not from my ethnic group, it cannot be the same with yours. I remember last week we tried to speak, to say I have paid my school fees using the 3 major ethnic groups in Nigeria. Although some of you were not able to defend your language, you were not able to say it, but then we were able to discover that there are differences in language. Okay, we have dressing, we have food, we have greeting, we also have religion. Religion. Is that okay?
Yes, ma.
Okay.
Ma.
So I'll ask you a few questions before we go to our past questions. So we'll start with the meaning of culture. Who can define culture?
Ma, culture is the total way of life.
Total way of life, good, of a particular
Ma,
group.
culture is the total of life of a particular group of people.
Very good. And then we said culture is passed on from one generation to another. We also said that culture is dynamic. That is, it changes as the society changes. And we said we have 2 components of culture. Who can mention the 2 components of culture?
Material culture and non-material culture.
Okay, material and non-material culture.
Non-material culture.
Then we said material culture is sometimes referred to as what?
Material culture.
Huh?
Culture.
Listen to the question. We said material culture is also known as what?
Tangible culture.
Tangible culture, very good. While non-material is sometimes referred to as intangible culture. We also discussed, we mentioned features of culture. That is the ways the culture of a group of people can be seen. Who can mention 3 for us? 3 features
language, food, and religion.
And religion, very good. We also discussed the characteristics of culture. I gave you 7. Who can mention 4?
My culture.
Culture is
Culture is
shared.
dynamic,
No,
culture
just
is
raise your hand
enduring,
and I'll
culture is
ask you.
created, and
Please.
culture is
Culture
collective.
is learned.
Don't stop. Raise your hand. I'll ask you. Blessing Asadri, yes?
Culture is created.
1. I need 4. I said 4. That's 1.
Culture is dynamic,
Yes. 2.
adaptive,
3.
collective.
Very good. Thank you very much. You answered without looking at your notebook or your jotter. That's a good one. And then we looked at the similarities of culture. Who can list 3 similarities in our culture? 3 similarities. Solomon, Wesley, yes?
Marriage, respect for elders and festivals.
Okay, good. Then what about the differences? Who can give us 3 differences? If you know it, you raise your hand. Kwao, yes.
A language, greeting, and religion.
And what?
Religion.
Good, thank you. So we are going to past questions now. Past questions that has to do with culture. So as we do it, you provide the answer. Okay. All right, so past questions now. Okay, can you see the first question? I'll read
Yes,
it.
ma'am.
You provide the answer. Which of these belong to non-material aspects of culture? Which of these belong to non-material aspects of culture? I believe you can see the options. So what's the answer?
Oral literature.
Oral literature.
Oral literature. Very good. Then the next one, the total way of life of a people is known as what? The total way of life of a people is known as what?